Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Secova Metals channel, discovering high-valued assets and forefronting this precious metal renaissance. With us today, Chief Executive Officer Brad Kitchen. Welcome back, sir.
Cal, Happy New Year. How are you?
Oh, living the dream, brother, and yourself.
Pretty much. Looking forward to a very exciting 2022.
Yeah, and we got lots to kick this off. Yeah, man, there's lots going on within your company that we're going to divulge just to kick the year off. First and foremost, I mean, just to kick it off with Q1, to give some of the retail audience some insight here between the Monty Bond and the Eagle River project. I noticed you guys started a preliminary economic assessment. Do you kind of just want to touch on that and just expand on what investors can kind of expect at a Q1 here?
Yeah, it's going to be a very busy time. The preliminary economic assessment will help us plan the logistics of the processing of the tailings. Complicated way of saying it helps us find out where the gold and the silver is in the tailings itself. So this is a process that would normally take about 6 months to 9 months. But because of all the historic information, because of all the good data work that our geologists at Longford Exploration have done, we'll be working with BBA to do the preliminary economic assessment. We hope to have it done in about 3 months. So it's going to be something that we can use to help plan which portion of the tailings we process at a certain time. It's also a precursor to help us better define the resource, not on surface, because we already know what that is, but below surface as well. It will give us an indication of where those tailings came from and will help with the further exploration plan. One thing that we did as a company, we made the decision that when we did the PEA, we would have to do a lot of exploration work on the property. So we also did a concurrent flow-through financing at the same time. And we were able to do $2.3 million in a period of about 2 or 3 days. So it was very well received. The company now has the funding for exploration for 2022. And it's going to be a busy year trying to spend all that money, but we know how we can do it.
So lots to look forward to. I just want to backtrack a little bit here. I mean, just because it's the start of the year, just to give some investors a highlight of where you guys were last year to where you kind of come up this year. Is there anything that really stuck out to you for milestones in 2021 that you could just briefly offer some insights on?
Actually huge. Thanks for bringing this up. But the biggest thing is that we began trading again on October 5th. So we hadn't traded for about 18 months. We came back trading, had extremely strong support. I think that we have to do a better job marketing the company. We being myself, I don't believe that the actual value of the company is reflected in our share price. But once we get the message out, once we start construction of the mill, once some of the equipment starts coming on board, which some has already, then people will start to realize that we will be into production in the year 2022. So we're excited about this. I've got a meeting in about 20 minutes, actually, with the engineers. We're just about completed the engineering. The next step is an update of our restoration plan, and then working on the tailings pond or a tailings dam. So there's a very good systematic path for us to get to production. And this is one thing I think it's going to be important that we talk to your investors, our shareholders, make sure that everybody understands that we're following along this process. And every week we're checking more and more off. Last year, yes, you didn't hear much from us because we weren't trading, but we were doing a lot of work. We've been able to secure about 70% of the equipment for the mill. We're 95 to 97% completed on the engineering. So that means we can start construction in February. So although you didn't hear a lot from us, there was a lot being done behind the scenes. It's a proverbial duck where everything's cool and calm above, but lots happening below the water.
Yeah, for sure. And you made some good points that I think a lot of the commodities sector, especially within the gold market, sold off quite a little bit, which didn't make a whole lot of sense because the gold price has been holding pretty stable. So I think 2022 can be a very good value play within that sector there. Do you want to just briefly discuss, because I know we're kind of sitting in this very wonky market mix of hyperinflation, the COVID stuff going on. I know that there's a lot of cushioning largely with the mining sector, but just to offer some insight there, do you think any of this is going to affect you guys? Is it slowing you down at all? And is there any headwinds that you might experience?
Actually, I'm glad you raised that because that is a very important. It's a very tough factor that the whole business is dealing with, and that is your supply chain. We've been very, very fortunate because of all the work that the group has done, not only in the last couple of years, but even 10 years before that. We've been able to secure equipment that would normally take, because of COVID now and because of supply chain issues, would normally take about 18 months to 2 years. We have that stuff coming on site right now. It's used, but it's in good shape. We can do all the refurbishing right on site. And it's, it's basically moving our production up by about 18 months compared to competitors. The other thing that happened late last year was really the support of the community. And this is important for companies right now because people are concerned about jobs. People are concerned about employment. They're worried about when COVID is removed, or what's the economy going to be like? Well, Montauban is a mining town, or was a mining town for about 90 years. The last time the mine was used was back in 1989. And since then, there hasn't been a lot of industry. And it's an absolutely beautiful town. But what we're doing is we're coming in and we're bringing about 30 to 40 jobs. We're cleaning up this toxic site. We're creating some investment in the community, obviously, and we're getting a lot of support, not only from the mayors of Montauban itself, but the surrounding communities. And this is huge for a company in the resource sector. So we are a resource company, but we're also an environmental company. And I think people are starting to understand that, see that there's more of a holistic investment opportunity here. Yes, you will have the income, you will have value in the shares from the mineral resource that we're extracting, but it's also for the greater good. We're cleaning up this area. We're bringing in some good long-term, high-paying jobs. And it's a good news story. And it's one that we're hoping to replicate sometime over the next 2 to 3 years. We are looking at other projects right now and hope that 2022 will bring on another 2 or 3 within the fold.
So lots to look forward to. I really appreciate your time today, Brad. Thanks so much for coming out.
Oh, Kyle, it's been great. Thanks very much for having me back. Look forward to giving you an update in a couple of weeks.
Such a pleasure. And if you guys have had any questions at all about the sector, the gold market, let us know what you think in that comment section below, and perhaps we can do an investor Q&A down the road. And on that note, for those feature updates, consider subscribing as well. But stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you guys in the next one.